2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3.
It takes precision and dedication for these dancers to perfect their sport, and Nicole Odo knows all about it. She teaches this class here at the Curry Center. She's preparing these girls for their upcoming Canadian Championship competition, something Odo knows quite well. Odo has been dancing since the age of 7, where the love of the culture lured her into learning the sport. She started teaching when she was 16.
My grandfather grew up in Cape Breton, and I always used to go to the Highland Games up in Antigonish. So he was always a big fan of Highland dancing, and I was younger and spending a lot of time at Highland Games. So then I became involved with it, and I've been dancing ever since.
Competitive Highland dance has been a tradition in Scotland since the 1800s. The agility and grace of dancers focus on the elevation of jumps, intricate footwork, and the coordination of leg movements to their arms and head. In competitions, dancers are judged on timing to the music, their technique of movements, and general conduct on stage. The tradition has grown worldwide. However, locally, it's smaller than other parts of Canada.
It's a lot smaller in New Brunswick. However, we've come a long way as a province, and I think we've done a good job of promoting Highland dancing within the community.
5, 6, 7.
Highland dance is focused on the individual rather than a team. This individualist discipline drives Odo in her practices.
For me, it's always been the competition. So I'm a big perfectionist. I love competition. And I've always enjoyed the individual aspect. So I know that my results they reflect my work ethic and how much time I've put in to dancing that year.
But what goes into a dancer's head while they're dancing? For Odo, it depends on the situation.
For when I'm competing, blank. I don't think I have one thought, which sometimes people don't think is a good thing, but it's complete autopilot. When it comes to practicing, 100% thinking about all your different corrections, breaking everything down. So I find in practice, my head's going, but in competition, not at all.
While Odo's placements in competitions reflect her practices, it is also shown through her students. They feel they are getting the most out of their time spent with her.
Definitely a hard worker, and she puts everything into her teaching, so she's really good. She'll give us lots of corrections and really pushes us to our max when she's teaching.
I want you guys to think about getting to your position before you land your hop, okay? Because right now we're just kind of getting there, which is fine, but I want it a lot sharper. Okay?
Odo has her tricks to her wins. As she showed her students, she takes the steps and focuses on a specific aspect until she has it right consistently.
I've always enjoyed taking something apart, working on it, perfecting it, and putting it all together in the bigger picture. You have to come top 3 in your province in order to qualify to compete in the Canadian Championships. So this is from this past year. This is the 18 and under 21 category.
At the age of 20, the years of dedication has paid off. She has won several Canadian Championships and has accomplished her ultimate goal of placing in the World Championships.
And then these other medals sitting on the other side are the Cowell medals. So these are given out at the World Championships. This one in particular was given for my 6th overall placing in the World Championships, and this was just I believe a 3rd place medal for a particular dance. Right now, my goal, because they change as I get older because you move into different categories and things become more difficult. So now I've moved up into the adult category, so I would ultimately like to qualify for the World Championships and then place in the World Championships again.
Watch that ending. 4.
On top of teaching, she is a full-time student and still frequently competes in competitions around the Maritimes. Since coming to university, she still manages to make time for it all.
Through high school was a lot easier for sure. I could focus more on my dancing, especially on the weekends. I spent every other weekend traveling to Prince Edward Island for extra training sessions. As I've come into university, it's been a lot more difficult. I've taken on a lot more students to teach, and I still have to manage to fit in an hour of practicing a day, school from 8 to 5. It's busy, but I think you can always make the time for it.
Despite the busy schedule, Nicole has used her practicing and her mindset to shape herself as a dancer and as a person. And this dedication has even spread to her students.
but she's definitely inspired me to work harder and stuff, because just like when you're with someone that works as hard as she does, it kind of like makes you want to work even harder. So
Nicole's regular practices are one of her biggest motivators to continue in Highland dance.
I think so. I think that me being able to focus on dancing during the day and for just, an hour or 2 hours a day and just focus on that one thing, it made me a really determined person. Like I knew what I needed to focus on when I needed to focus on it. So, dancing isn't the place to think about the 10 assignments I have to do, and school isn't the place to sit and think about all the things I have to think about dancing.
At the age and place in life when dancers usually stop, Odo doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Sharing this tradition through teaching and using her determination will be something she carries with her for a long time. For St. Thomas Journalism, I'm Jordyn Meade-Baxter.